first thing that I normally like to do is I like to just cut off just like a little bit off the top. Depending on like what their hair is like, I generally do that. If they have maybe very fine hair that I think might need a little bit more strength and less slip, then I'll leave that on. But generally, I won't do that just because I like my bonds to be very thin height-wise. And then I almost always will cut them in half. Because even if somebody has very thick hair, I want the strands to be small enough that the bond is small on their head. Because if you take this and then you put it on too many of their natural hairs, the bond is still going to be very large. And if you take a large bond and you put it on enough hair to where it's safely weight distributed, that bond is going to be huge. So I never like to do that. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll even cut that into a triangle on the top, or I'll slant it so that the tip is less keratin than the body of the bond, so that the top is even smaller, which makes it more comfortable. So once I have that done, I always like to make sure that there's like not a single baby hair. I hate a baby hair. I'll flatten that. I like to grab a tiny little square. And I lift that up all the way so I can get all the baby hairs up under it. I like to put them a little lower than most people because then I know that like it's linear. Because if it has that like really pretty look where it comes to a triangle, I think that's probably too much tension on each side, and I don't like that. And what I like to do is I like to heat up the back and then heat up the top. And because this bond has such a nice viscosity, I can like push it all the way through and then shape it. And that allows it to almost be invisible because the hair doesn't actually have to wrap around the base hair because the keratin is all the way through. So it actually allows the hair extension to sit behind the section. And by doing it that way, I don't have to like polish it or worry about like the top not being right. It's just like a perfectly smooth bond, and it's much flatter that way. And in addition to that, what this allows me to do is if somebody has highlights and say that this base hair has multiple colors in it, by doing it like this, you can actually see the highlight go through the hair extension bond as opposed to it being completely covered on top as if I would have placed that forward. And the fact that this bond is so clear, it allows you to just see everything directly through it, which also makes me really critical of my own work because the fact that I can see exactly what's going on inside the bond because it's clear makes me a real perfectionist, because I don't want to see bubbles, I don't want to see white, I want it to be a completely clear, undetectable bond, like a little clear grain of rice.